Welcome back to the Sidetrack'd Podcast.
Oh my god. What are you talking about? We're really about to do this all over again.
Welcome back to Sidetrack'd. Oh my god, it feels good to be back. Happy New Year, everyone. For you guys, it's been a regular 2-week period between episodes, but for me, I have not been in the studio since November 14th. That was the last episode we shot, and that was episode 6. Yeah, it's been a while. I have not done this in over a month now. So, I'm a little rusty. Stick with me. Bear with me. But yeah, I am so excited for the 2024 season. For the people who watch this on YouTube, the studio's changing a little bit. It's gonna look a little different come our next guest, which hopefully will be our next episode. I'm not quite sure yet, and hopefully will be an interview, which I'm excited about because I love doing interviews, and I haven't gotten to do a real proper interview on the podcast yet. So hopefully that is in the works. Yeah, I'm excited for what this season is bringing for Sidetrack'd. I mean, there have been a lot of technical difficulties through this journey of our first 8 episodes, and I've said this before, I believe I've said this before, but I think now we're finally slowing down. I feel like now we finally got our groove going, we finally know what we're doing, but then again, I never know what I'm doing in life, so I mean, I don't really know. But yeah, I'm excited for the next few episodes. I'm excited for this entire year, really. But yeah, welcome back. Ugh, it feels good to be back. But without further ado, let's get into today's topic, which I don't know what I'm titling this yet. Honestly, I'm filming this also the week that I'm uploading, which I never do. I always try to film at least a week or 2 in advance. So I haven't done an episode that was posted the same week it was filmed since the first episode. Episode 1 was filmed 2 days before I uploaded it, but I haven't done this since September, so bear with me. It will be up when it needs to be up. You guys are listening to this on Friday. I'm not missing an upload day anytime soon, so you don't gotta worry about that. But I've been waiting to film this episode since before, I even, had episode 1 planned. I've been wanting to cover this topic, but even more so now because I had a conversation about 2 weeks ago now with about 3 people over Zoom about this exact topic, and I'm using those points today. Or not those points, but basically I'm going to use that as a guideline for what I'm going to talk about today. But I haven't even said what we're talking about, but y'all already read the title. You guys know what I'm talking about. But we're going to be talking about specifically heterosexual relationships and relationships with men, okay? As a woman who dates men, that is what we're going to be talking about today. And, just men mostly. It's not even just dating, I would say. I think it's just, how men, specifically in American society, interact with women, because I've been seeing loads and loads of TikToks on this entire topic for a month now. I've never wanted to be in the studio more. I wanted so badly to come back into the studio just to film this episode, but I was like, nah, I need the month-long break that I gave myself. But the content that I was being served, maybe my For You page knew I was thinking about it, but not only did I have, it was a 3-hour long conversation with these people about this topic, then I was getting fed, content on my For You page left and right. I'm not going to talk about Simone Biles and her husband. That's all I got to say on that topic. But, the past few weeks, a lot of stuff has been happening with men and how they treat the women in their lives, and I really, really, this is a passionate topic for me, because not only do I just think about it daily as someone who does date men, but, also, I've taken, courses on it in school, and it's interesting when you're looking at it through, textbook, definitions of stuff, and it's all, this is sad. I don't know, something about reading it in, like, your classes and, like, reading how men interact and knowing that it hasn't changed really that much. And it's perpetuated by men. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, when, I hate the argument when it's all like, oh, like, when a girl says that she's, like, scared of men or something and men are all like, well, like, that's not my fault. And it's all like, no, it is your fault. Men perpetuate this whole standard of this, like, okay, starting out first, like, in this whole debate, it's like, it's very strongly rooted within, like, the culture in this country, specifically with men, to, like, it, like, the culture of dating in this country perpetuates, like, rape. Like, I'm just gonna say it, like, bluntly, but, like, hookup culture, locker room talk, all of it, like, perpetuates rape, including porn. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like all those things together in tandem. Like, you may think, like, oh, funny jokes, like, in the locker room, like, oh, we're just talking about, like, the girls we hooked up with. But it's, like, weird, because girls don't do it to the same extent that guys do it at all. And even with, like, the whole, like, women reclaiming their sexual, like, claiming their sexual liberation, like, almost, you don't even, like, understand how far men are in this realm of, like, they don't view women as, like, equals at all. Like, they really do view women as objects, and it's, like, a sport to them. Like, I read this article, and it was basically, like, locker room talk and talking about, like, oh, how many girls I get with. It's, like, a competition to them, and it's for the validation of other men. And it's not like, I never want to be in a situation where I'm in a relationship with a man who doesn't like women, like, outside of sexually. Like, that is, I think, a sign of a man who's emotionally undeveloped. Like, I can't sit here and be all like, women, like, with the women's liberation movement, women finally talking about sex, like, it's so weird to me, and it's been weird to me since the start of all of this, that women are, like, basically taught to hide the fact that they enjoy sex. Like, they shouldn't enjoy sex. Sex is not something that a woman should enjoy. She should, like, bear it. It's because you want to have children. You shouldn't be a whore. Like, stuff like that. But men are literally, like, begged to be all like, oh, I got with 15 bitches this weekend. And it's all like, why is there such a double standard? Because, one, it takes two to tango. Like, I hate that analogy where it's all like, oh, but a lock that can be opened by many keys is a bad lock, but a key that can open any door is a master key. You're a slut regardless. Don't get it twisted. Like, okay, I'm not slut-shaming anyone per se, but I'm just sitting here like, you can't sit here and act like because it's a man or because it's a woman, it's different. Body counts are the same. I don't give a fuck about your body count. 1. 2, most men don't know anything about, like, sex anyways. Like, they don't, like, I don't think porn is an accurate, no, let me just say this. Porn isn't an accurate accurate depiction of what happens in sex. You know what I'm saying? But because this is where most men and most boys, I'm using boys intentionally here, are getting their education I use very lightly, because it's not a good culture to be around. Well, I'm not shaming, like, sex workers or porn stars or whatever. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the stories that are being told in these videos that they have mass, like, consumption and production of, and, like, they have access to. It's very easy to access. It's literally right there. It perpetuates this thing where it's all like men, like, need to, like, be the dominant one. And by dominant, I mean literally predators. Like, it is not, like, this, like, experience that you're sharing with someone that you love. And that is not what is portrayed in porn or in this, like, situation where you're, like, saying that girls are sluts for, like, sleeping with a lot of guys, yet the same does not apply for guys. And when I was having this conversation with a few of my friends, we were talking about how a lot of times guys take their other male friends, like, opinions way too much. Like, if I was talking to this guy, and basically he explained it to me, like, if he was dating a girl, or, like, in the scenario where a guy is dating a girl, and then his friends, like, are talking, and they're all like, oh, but she's ran through, she's this, she's that, it literally makes the guy lose interest, and it's all like, why is that? Like, I did question it, I was all like, why don't y'all have backbones? And he was all like, I really can't answer that, and it's all like, honestly, it just goes back to what I've always, like, thought, and it's all, like, more men being comfortable with standing out, because I do think a lot of men are, like, and I'm not saying all men, because I know it's not all men, and the thing is, like, for a while, like, I do think, like, I've never been a proponent of being all, like, oh, all men are trash, or, like, kill all men or whatever. Like, I think that, like, people who actually believe that, which one, I don't know, it's hard to, like, explain what I'm talking about, but I think that, like, a lot of times, like, when we were younger specifically, girls would say that to be, like, quirky and different and be all like, kill all men and whatever, and it's all like, I know it's not all men, but it's like a really big, like, you get so aggravated, and I got aggravated a few months ago, because, like, just left and right, like, I've never been a proponent of being all, like, all men, but then I'll, like, have men in my life, and I don't have a lot of male friends, actually. Like, most of the male friends that I've had in my life, they're not in my life anymore. I think I have, like, 2 male friends, and they're both family, like, type shit. Like, and it's not because, like, I can't see common ground, or because I don't, like, I hate all men. It's just, like, a lot of times it's hard to be friends with men as a woman, because they don't, like, it doesn't shut off all the time. Like, if you're pursuing a girl, yeah, sure, they can shut it off for how long they need to bag a girl, but they can't shut it off forever. And then you'll be hanging out with guys, and then they'll say something and remind you that they really are just a man, and it's upsetting. It really is. But a few months ago, like, it's a thing where it's all like, oh, it's not all men, but it's enough men, and it's all like, I have had so many people in my life that it's just, like, it's so sad to think about, like, just the amount of fear that is put into, like, for, like, a solid year, every single time I left the house, I was being harassed by a grown man, not like people my age, men who were in their 30s, 40s, and 60s hitting on me as, like, a teenager, because I just turned 20. Like, it was every single time I left the house, I was being harassed, and they were following me around the store, they were following me to my car, saying, can I get your number, pulling up and blocking me from leaving my parking spots, like, type shit. Like, it's so frustrating, because I want the best for everyone, like, men and women included, but it's all like, you have to take, like, ownership and shit. Like, y'all have friends, and I'm talking specifically to men here right now, but y'all have friends, and I'm not going to keep on reiterating this, but you know who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to all men, but I'm saying that a lot of men have friends who are rapists, and you know they're rapists, and you know they're predators, you know that they've assaulted women, you know they make women uncomfortable, and you stay friends with them. You stay keeping them in your lives, you stay excusing their behaviors, you stay saying, oh, but it was one-off, oh, it was this, oh, it was that, and it's all like, no, hold your friends accountable, because clearly y'all think so highly of each other, yet you guys can't hold each other accountable for actual shit that matters. It pisses me off. Like, I can't, like, literally just, like, my friends doing anything that I don't deem, like, that is in my morals, not even anything that bad, like, cheating. Like, if my friends cheat, like, I would have a problem with that. I'd call them out on that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be upset, and I would call them out on that bullshit, because I'm their friend. I want the best for them, and I want them to be the best individual, because they reflect me. Regardless of what you think, your closest 5 friends reflect who you are as a person. And I wouldn't want to have a bunch of predators on my roster. That is not something I would ever want. I wouldn't want a bunch of bad individuals that I call my friends, because you're just as bad as them. You're protecting them. I just think that it's really stupid to sit here and let men control the way you live your life, and then simultaneously not use the same power that you know you have to control the opinions of your friends to do something for good. It's really frustrating, because I know so many people who have been harassed or assaulted or raped, and I've just, it breaks my heart because, like, I want everyone to feel safe. And right now, I don't think it's safe. Like, I know it's not all men, and I know that it's not, like, this big, huge... I know that it's not all men. And I know that I can't solve everything in one day, obviously. But just in the past few months, just seeing men around me, not even that I'm close with or that I would call my friends ever, just seeing men in society and how they act, whether it's via social media or in real life, it is disheartening. Because I don't want to see the worst in men. I don't want to have to feel this way, but realistically, it's out of protection. It really is. Like, going through life protecting myself from a predator, like, essentially, like, I can't sit here and be vetting men when at the end of the day, they don't give a shit about me. They really don't. And it's so hard to, like, say that and know that, like, I can't do anything about that. Like, I really can't. Like, I can preach it to as many of my guy friends as possible. I can change as many minds as I can. But, like, realistically, a lot of my guy friends, I don't. At least where I stand right now, I don't see them ever doing something like that to a woman. And I know them and I trust them. But it's also, like, these people are my family. Most of the people, like, I don't have a lot of guy friends anyways. Like, I've cut a lot of people off. And it comes down to, like, the thing of, like, we've talked about it in a few podcasts. I think it was episode 5, but it's hard to have male friends right now. It's either like, you know, it's a, you know, you're good, you know, you trust this person, and then they're all like, oh, I'm in love with you, or oh, you're leading me on because you were my friend, and it's all like, you guys make it so hard to even be friends with you because you do these things. But then you do have good friends who seem like they don't want to hurt you, like they're totally fine being your friend, and then you find out that they have this past or they have this present, because a lot of them, the behavior doesn't stop, and it's because all of you live in this culture where it's okay to act like that, and no one checks you on that shit, and no one's gonna check you on that shit. And I think it's embarrassing, honestly. And you should be embarrassed if you have anyone in your life who is like that you haven't cut off. I am shaming you for that. I'm not gonna shame a lot of people for some shit, but that is something I will shame you on. Having people in your life that you know are god-awful people, and you have no intention of making them better. It'd be one thing if you were over here like, oh, they're a shit person, but I'm telling them that they're shit, and they're becoming a better person. No, you guys just sit there complacently, and you're just as bad as them. And I'm honestly scared of you because I don't trust you for shit. And I wouldn't want you in my life. Because if I'm drowning, I don't trust you to reach out and grab me. Like, it really is. And it kind of reminds me of the scene from this show that I was watching. But, like, Grand Army, main character, I think she's the main character of the show. She gets raped by 2 of her close male friends while she's at a party. Like, they're driving home, they're in the taxi, she's inebriated, and they rape her. And then when she tries to tell someone, every single one of her friends drops her. And it's like, even though they admitted to it as well, like, they knew what they did and they all dropped her. And I know it's a show, but it's too real. It is way too real, and I'm so sick of it. But that's all I gotta say on that specific topic. Like, that, like, it just, like, you guys see what I'm talking about. There's a fucking mirror, like, a mirror right there. Like, you guys will literally break up with your girlfriends if your homeboy says, oh, she's ran through, she's this, she's that. But then on the same hand, you won't use that same voice to be all like, hey, don't be an asshole. Hey, don't harass women when they tell you to stop. Hey, just walk on the other side of the street. It's the least you can fucking do. Like, I feel like there's so much that needs to be talked about, and it's on both ends. I feel like in women's, like, women being sexually liberated, it didn't really work in terms of, like, what we thought. Like, in hookup culture, like, that's supposed to be sexually liberating, right? But at the end of the day, like, is it really your choice? Like, a lot of women who, like, participate in hookup culture, it's all like it's a very big thing, and I see it a lot over social media, where it's all like, it's so hard dating to marry in a world of hookup culture, and it's all like, I see it from both ends, women and men, and it's all like, there are so many people out here who are still dating to marry. Like, you are not, like, the only one. Like, it's not that hard to find someone. I think a lot of people, like, I don't think anyone doesn't want to be loved or doesn't want to be in a loving relationship. I think most of it, especially in hookup culture, comes from being scared of commitment. Like, no one wants to get their heart broken. I think that's what the biggest thing that I've seen from the people who I know who do that. Like, it's just, like, it's easier to have your fun than to get your heart broken by someone that you actually care about. And a lot of times in these situations, you try to participate in hookup culture and you end up in a situationship, and then your heart gets shattered all over again. It's like, I don't think that women getting sexually liberated actually made it to what it was. Like, especially in female rap, I noticed. I had this conversation in my hip-hop studies course, but the whole point of, like, women talking about sex and rap was supposed to sexually liberate women, but a lot of times you listen to the lyrics and it's almost like women are still being degraded in female rap artists. And I'm not naming specific female rap artists, but I'm just saying overall as a genre. And it's like, we were almost there. We just missed the mark just a bit. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like, these movements to get women sexually liberated end up just pandering to a patriarchal society, a patriarchy, right? Patriarchal. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I think, I don't know. I got a few notes here, but what originally started this whole conversation over Zoom, actually, was the man I was talking to. Hopefully he's not watching this. Sorry. I'm not gonna say your name, but he had said something strange underneath his breath, and I caught it, and I just had to backtrack because I've been thinking this for a while. But he said cheating is easy. Sorry, there was a dog outside. My apologies. It's actually my neighbor's dog. So, hopefully she'll be quiet. Fingers crossed. But, back to what I was saying. He said cheating is easy, and I was like, what are you talking about? One, in my opinion, I've never cheated. So, this is my opinion based on nothing that I've ever experienced. But you have to sit there, and I already think a relationship is hard as is. Now you're catering to two different people, and you're making a schedule out of it too, because you can't be hanging out with them at the same time. You can't be in the same places or doing the same things. You got to make up excuses. Like, you're fully committing to a bit to hurt someone else. Like, at the end of the day, it's literally, at the very least, even if the person doesn't find out, you're disrespecting them regardless. So I think cheating is very difficult. I've never done it, but it seems very difficult to me. One relationship is already hard enough as is. Now you're doing two, but you gotta keep both of them a secret from the other person. And I explained this to him, and he was all like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, no, because it's all like, one, I tried to, like, because I never understood cheating ever, because it's all like, why not just break up? You know what I'm saying? Like, breaking up would, one, be more respectful in the long run, regardless of whether it hurts the person. It's gonna hurt the person regardless. I mean, like, if you fall out of love with someone, it's gonna hurt. Like, they're gonna be hurt somehow. And I don't understand why cheating was the best option here. But, you know, it's respectful. And it wastes no one's time. Like, that person's gonna cry for a hot second. And they're gonna get up, realize they're a bad bitch, and get back to dating. You know what I'm saying? But cheating, that's just a different level. Because you don't even respect the person enough to be upfront with them. And the guy I was talking to, he was all like, yeah, but breaking up is hard. And yeah, breaking up is hard. I will say that. Breaking up is hard. Because obviously you probably love that person at one point. Or like them at the very least. Like, it's gonna be hard, but you gotta do hard shit. If you're in a relationship and you can't do hard shit like confrontation, maybe you're not old enough to be in a relationship. I don't know. Maybe you're not mature enough. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, using that as an argument to be all like, oh, I cheated because I didn't know how to break up with you. That is a crazy sentence, a crazy statement. I would never admit to that shit. I'd rather say that dinosaurs like came back than admit that shit. The fuck? What do you mean? Like, I cannot deal with men who act this childish. And it goes back to the whole, like, men need, like, serious help, like, therapy, like, type shit. Because, like, why, like, and I understand breaking up is hard regardless of how strong you are as a person and how good you are with confrontation. It is going to hurt. It's not supposed to be easy, or else everyone would fucking do it and no one would fucking cheat. But you gotta do it, like, as an adult, because honestly, letting someone else break up for you by, like, being all like, oh, I cheated and now she's breaking up with you, or that thing that I saw a few months ago where it was all like, when guys don't want to break up, they just start acting horrible so the girl breaks up with them. Be a man. I don't know, like, have a spine. Jesus Christ, these hoops that you're jumping through just to break up with someone, like, it's like 5 words, like, I want to break up with you. Like, it is very simple. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm understanding that it's hard, but y'all are literally doing circus tricks trying to figure out a way to make it easier. And at the end of the day, is it really easier? Like, you're making this person hate you so that they break up with you, or you're cheating on them to make them hate you and want to break up with you. Like, what are you doing? And then you're gonna claim at the end of it that you truly love them and you just didn't know how. No. No. You're too old for that. You're too grown for that. Please, no. We're not gonna do that. Not in 2024. Come on now. We gotta get a spine. Come on. Gotta get a backbone. One thing I can talk about in, like, relationships, and I really do value my single time, because, like, as I've gotten older and, like, more mature, like, in high school, and I, like, talked to my cousin about this, and I think the last episode, but, like, she's very much like, oh, like, I want a boyfriend, blah, 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 and she's in high school, so it makes sense. Like, that is something that I would have said in high school as well, but as I get older, I'm all like, I like my peace. I really do. And for someone to come into my life, they'd have to, like, come in, like, and not disturb that peace whatsoever. You have to fit into the puzzle that I already have halfway done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked a lot on myself. You're not about to come and, like, wreck the whole thing and take a few pieces with you so I can't finish the puzzle. Psh, that's not happening. But, like, when in dating, I can't not stand a nonchalant nigga. Throw them away and lock away. Like, throw them away. Like, I cannot stress this enough. What are we being nonchalant about? The fact that you love me? That's crazy. That's insane. Because what are you talking about? Like, I can't stress how much that irks me. Because you're in a relationship. Like, if you're, like, dating to marry, whatever. Why the fuck are you being nonchalant about it? You should be wanting to scream that you love me from the rooftops, okay? I don't understand why we're acting like caring about someone is something to be embarrassed about. Because one thing that I'm walking into 2024 with is that I'm like, and this is why I've even started, like, this is what I started the premises of this podcast on, but, like, I'm not going to be afraid to be seen trying ever again. So many things I haven't done because I'm afraid that someone's going to judge me and someone's going to make fun of me. Guess what? They're going to make fun of you. They're going to think they're going to think you're, like, corny because you love someone. And you know what? That shouldn't affect how you view someone, or that shouldn't affect how you treat someone. Like, people are going to judge you regardless. Like, whether you know it or not. People could be silently hating on you and you'll never fucking know. Like, that is what I've grown to learn, is that bitches are going to be bitches regardless. And you know what you got to do? Keep on living your life, because at the end of the day, we're all going to die. Like, type shit. Like, you need to be so secure in yourself that people can't move you like that. Because why are you being nonchalant about me when no one else is part of our relationship? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Because it's all like, why are you acting like you don't care? If you don't care, step the fuck away from me, because I don't want you. Like, type shit. Like, I just don't understand that. How are you being nonchalant about someone that you're supposed to be caring about? Like, that is literally what you're doing when you're getting into a relationship. You are trying to get with this person because you care about them and you like them, even a little bit. So why are you being nonchalant? That makes no sense. It's like an oxymoron. The fuck are you doing being nonchalant in a relationship? I cannot stand that shit. Because who is watching you so hard that you feel that you can't even show emotion? It's like, we keep on going back to the same topics. It's crazy. I think that a lot of times it's like, men and women are like raised in opposition to each other. Like, and that's why I don't like perpetuating this like thing that it's all like, oh, a lot of men like piss me off, which they do. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I can stand having a conversation with a man who isn't like working on himself. Like, it's really hard for me to sit here and like lie like that, but like, we really are raised in opposition. We think that we're like each other's ops, and it's really like it's to our detriment, but also like it's not even like, yes, it's on both parties because both parties like perpetuate it, but it's also like it's mostly on men because they create this toxic environment where I don't feel comfortable around you, and I don't trust you, and I am scared of you, and I would never, like, it really does warm my heart when I meet men who like contradict what I already think. It does. Not to the point where like you could do the bare minimum and it's gonna wow me because I still have a brain cells, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it is nice to know like who is not your op, you know? Like a lot of like, it's like the thing where it's all like a lot of men just don't like women. They only like them sexually, and they can't stand being around women. They can't talk to them. And I know I just said that, but it's all like, for me, it's different in women and men because for me, it's out of protection for myself because men are dangerous, especially for me. I'm just a small little girl. You know what? Like, I can't protect myself, but that shit, like, but like, in a situation with a man who doesn't like a woman that they're with, like, it's always like guys who don't like their wives, and like the TikTok that blew up a few weeks ago where a guy at his wedding day was giving his vows, and his wife gave these beautiful, just like lovely vows, you know? And I'm not saying you gotta be Shakespeare up there, but the way this man's vows were, I promise to smack your ass every day, that's it, period, end of sentence. I know you thought there would be more. Nope, you're wrong. That was the end of the sentence. And the priest or the pastor or whoever was ordaining the marriage literally gave this man a second chance and said, are you sure you want to end off on that? I'm giving you another shot. Literally said that in the middle of the wedding. And he said, nope, I'm going to stick with that. My God. It just infuriates me that people like that exist. Like, men like that exist. And they don't see anything wrong with their behavior. And they act like grown children. Like, one thing about me getting into a relationship, I don't want a child out of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but no, I'm being serious. Like, I don't want to be a parent to a grown person. Like, that's not why I'm getting into a relationship. I want a partner, not a child, okay? Like, a lot of y'all act like grown children, and it's embarrassing. Like, I need you to stop. Because it's like looking at a bad wreck. Like, I don't want to watch it, but I got to, because you're being so loud and obnoxious. Like, Jesus Christ. Ugh. Also, I'm not claiming to be like a relationship coach or counselor. I'm more of an observer. I'm a people watcher, you know? I'm pulling from, you know, my plethora of sources, you know? This conversation, like, it lasted a while, and it got me thinking, like, just like so much, like, because it's like the thing, like, sorry, I'm stuttering a lot, but stick with me, bear with me. This is my first day back. I think that, like, just a lot of times, like, you don't, like, see it. Like, obviously, I believe these things. I'm reading the textbooks. I'm taking my, like, courses. I'm reading about men and women and how they interact with each other. And, yes, I know from my own experience how I've been treated by men in the past. And if we're being honest, it hasn't been good. But to be fair, on that point, I've only been an adult for, like, a few years, like, if we're being real. Like, I've been dealing with children for the most part, so it's all, like, I can't really gauge, like, how men treat me. But as I'm getting older and seeing the men around me not mature at the same rate, it's getting scary. It's getting brisk out here, because I have no intentions of settling, and I don't need a relationship. That's the thing. I'm completely fine being on my lonesome. Being single's fun. I don't gotta check in with anyone. Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And before y'all come in the comments saying some shit like, oh, she's outside. No, I just don't need anyone right now. I don't need that in my life right now. Like I said before, like, if it's not adding to my life, like, in a positive way, I don't fucking need it. You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice to have a good, decent relationship, but I don't need that right now. And honestly, the way shit's been looking, it's looking dry as fuck out here. So, I'm cool. I'm chilling. Because if the alternative is dealing with y'all crazy niggas who want to start acting a fool once you say that you're not in love with someone anymore, like, I'm good. I'm chilling. Like, I really just don't have anything to give y'all. Like, for real. I just don't want to deal with that shit. It just seems draining more than anything to be in a relationship with a man, or to even talk to a man right now. Like, and I do like having these conversations with men, and I'm probably going to bring someone on the podcast hopefully soon who can speak to this. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I know exactly who I'm bringing on the podcast for this topic, but I digress. We're going to talk about this some more in the future. This is not the last time you'll be hearing about this, but one thing I really want to hit before we leave about dating, and specifically dating men, is the posting curse. I had this conversation a few months ago with some of my friends, but okay, y'all know the posting curse. Like, right after you post him, like, suddenly y'all are breaking up, or you found out he cheated, or whatever the case may be. And I was always saying that, you know, I'm not posting a man until I have a ring on my finger, in the terms of we're in a relationship type shit. Like, speaking on, like, yeah, I would post you as if you were my friend, but I'm not claiming you as my own on my socials, per se, until I got a ring on my finger, because I'm just trust issues, you know, type shit. But, you know, the more I grow, and it's only been a few months since I had this conversation, I don't know. I do think the posting curse is real. I've seen it happen in real time, you know, but, which is why most people wait until, like, a year until they're posting their significant others. I feel like right now in this day and age, but, no, I think that it's real. It's funny. It's funny as all hell, but I just don't want to succumb to it ever. But, yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave the episode today. A little bit of a shorter episode, I know. I had a few technical difficulties naturally in Sidetrack'd, and I got a bit sidetracked in the middle there. I got heated. This is a topic that I care deeply about, and I care deeply about the mental health of both women and men all involved. You know, I am a psychology major. No, but I do care deeply about this topic, and we're going to talk about it some more. I want to get some men on this podcast, and I want to really get down to it. I want to get down to business, you know, because I think that it's easy for me to sit here and, like, bash on men, which this is not the intention of the podcast at all. It was not to bash men by any means. That is not what I was trying to portray in this episode, and I'm not trying to make the bridge between men and women larger. It's just, and I also had this conversation with a man, like, and I think he's a good guy. I don't think that, like, we were going, mind you, he said cheating was easy, but then he said he would never, and he has never. So, like, I do think he's a decent person, you know, but I think that there's a long ways to go as far as, like, this conversation goes. I think there's a lot more to be said. And I can't sit here and just keep on, like, running through these questions that I clearly don't have the answers to right now. Nor will I ever have the answers unless I talk to other individuals. So hopefully in the future, sometime soon, we will have this conversation again. Maybe not on all the exact same topics, but with maybe a panel, because new year, new studio, same Sidetrack'd. You know what I'm saying? So we got new equipment in the studio. Get ready for guest episodes, because that's happening. And maybe we can get a panel of men who I don't completely hate and can tolerate. And we can talk about this again. And if any guys are watching this episode right now and you want to be a part of that episode, let me know. DM me on the Sidetrack'd socials, TikTok and Instagram at Sidetrack'd Podcast. And you can follow me at MaryJoJessica on Instagram and at MaryJo.Jessica on TikTok. And that has been Sidetrack'd. I will talk to you later.